knowing what they concerned about. You understand what I'm saying? It's like me and you, like we mad cool, right? Like we brothers. I'm at your mom's house, I'm eating. What's missing in our relationship is like, all right, boom, what are we both concerned about? You know, you don't know what Q is concerned about because you would have to actually ask me, like, Q, what are you concerned? Now I'm sharing with you, right? Like this is what I'm concerned about. Like I want to do major shit in my life. But I can't say that my pimping is not up to par. I can say that. But me saying that will actually enable you to be able to like shed light on the game. Cause I feel like at the end of the day, all of this is pimping. What the fuck was Madoff? Madoff was a pimp.
But he got caught.
Well, I think that pimps don't get caught because they tell you they're a fucking pimp from the beginning. It ain't nothing to get caught about. I'm a pimp.
So sometimes somebody got to take the fall, and Madoff had to take. It's sad because, you know, it shows you that despite the amount of money that you can make, you can still always be the fall guy. You know, and so Madoff just happened to be the fall guy for every 100 other billionaires that made off with somebody's money. He wasn't the first. He's not going to be the last. You know what I'm saying? But the key to success is not get caught at the end of the day.
Well, I feel like one of the great things I feel about what we do with rap is that it's not necessarily about not getting caught. It's really more so about just putting it out there. Like Kanye West can say anything he want now.
He's earned that right.
But he earned that right. But
whether
also,
you like it or not, he's earned it.
How
right.
you feel like he earned it?
Well, you have to have some degree of success. Over time, people give it to you. It's like, at one time, you know, Snoop Dogg was one of the most, like, feared individuals. Why? Because they bought into the idea that he was a gangster. Whether he was or not, we all know he went to the prom like everyone else and did what he had to do. But over time, when you make enough people money, that buys you your freedom, essentially. So he earned the right to now be able to worldwide go wherever he wants to. And Snoop Dogg can make money in Japan, make money in Australia. No one's no longer afraid of him. He doesn't even really have to walk around with security. But it's a process that you have to go through. Now Kanye has sold, you know, hundreds of millions of records or whatever, tens of millions of records. He's earned like over 27 some odd Grammys. He's making so much money. The machine is like, he's earned the right to pretty much say what the hell he wants to. Mm-hmm. Right now, he's headlining Glastonbury. They have a petition out right now. They only needed 50,000 people to sign. I think they're almost close to 100,000 people that have signed to say, we don't want Kanye West to perform at Glastonbury. Why? Because Glastonbury has traditionally always recognized artists that worked hard but were more considered underground artists that, you know, have been given an opportunity to shine. And here comes Kanye West, and they're like, you know, all of a sudden it's like sell out, sell out, sell out. Interesting thing is you haven't heard Glastonbury retract, because Glastonbury's like, look, we've already given this dude however much money it's going to cost to have him here, and we want him here. And you're going to come and see him, and you're going to pay to see him. And that's the reality of the world in which we exist. Like, he's more powerful than you. So your little petition to stop him from coming here is not going to have...
He earned that power.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, at the very basic level of pimping, Ice-T had these people say, he said, I'm not going to let you hear my music. You can give me a deal, and then I'll let you hear it. But you don't get to try a hand grenade before you buy a hand grenade. And that's what I mean, like if you even improving yourself, then there's a dynamic there where you are proving yourself in order to get something, as opposed to like even when I first met you, I was like, I'm not getting ready to prove myself to you.
Right.
Like, you should just make beats because you make beats. Like, now whether that's a valid point of view or not.
No, because I was doing it before I met you, and the idea was, well, I'm gonna continue doing it. And that's life in general. It's like, okay, if I was doing it before you, cool. But now that I'm doing it with you, what value are you bringing to the situation? Well, obviously you're bringing some value to it because I see the value in it.
But see, the thing is, all people bring value, but it's that if they pimping is not, the pimping is the value.
Well, it goes back to what you said about Ice-T though. It's like, that's a great point. You can't use a hand grenade before you buy the hand grenade.
The pimping is the value.
Trust that the hand grenade is gonna work.
Yeah.
We don't know it's gonna work.
We don't know.
So, at the end of the day, it boils down to time. I always say it, we have 24 hours in a day. Some people sleep for 8, some people sleep for 4, some people don't sleep at all. But, what do you do with the time? At the end of the day, what do you do with the time? And
well, that's what I'm looking at. Like, I'm at this job, right? Like, one of the conversations we had at Landmark, and this made a profound difference in my life. They said that you cannot be a demand on other people unless you're willing to let other people be a demand on you. So, like, all right, you can be a pimp, but you also got to be willing to be a hoe. Because how else can you convince a hoe if you're not willing to be one yourself?
Yeah, but the headache that comes with it, that's the part you gotta, you have to be willing to accept is that headache.
Because some people can be hoes. Everybody can be a hoe, but everybody can't be a pimp. That's why I feel like pimping is the next level. Because, yeah, a nigga can be a hoe. Like, you was born a hoe. Like, you was born that way. But pimping is like elevating your game to be able to say, like, all right, boom, I can deal with both sides of this. I can be a pimp and a hoe, and I can choose powerfully. Because it's not about, being a hoe is not bad. Being a hoe is not good. It's a choice. You chose. Like niggas say, you chose me. Like, you chose. Like, at the end of the day, being a pimp is a choice. Being a hoe is a choice. But I feel like if you're not willing to be a hoe, can you really be a pimp? Because pimps are
I don't
hoes.
think you have a choice of being a hoe.
Yes, you do.
By default, you come in as a hoe.
Nah, these niggas say you choosing. You chose, bitch. You chose.
If you make your way to a pimp and then are a hoe after you became a pimp,
but I think you gotta embrace being a hoe before you can be a pimp.
I think we're all hoes to some degree.
I think we was born hoes.
Right.
Like, we was born hoes. Like, we was born letting the environment shape how we think, not shaping how the environment thinks.
Right.
When you take your life to pimping, when you go to pimping, you start shaping this world. That's basically what a pimp is.
That's
it's not
the Warren Buffetts. That's the Bill
That's
Gates,
the Warren Buffetts. That's the Bill Gates. That's what Steve Jobs said. He said, I think we was born in this world with people telling us it has to be a certain way. Like these like bars, and it's like you can kick and rumble inside of here, but life is only meant to be this way. Steve Jobs said that. He said, I believe that we can shape the world that we live in. These niggas is pimps.
Right.
Plain and simple. That's what I'm saying. But first, you had to actually look and be like, damn, I'm in the side of box. And you gotta be willing to be a hoe in order to be a pimp. This nigga Ice-T went and he was a hoe and he learned the game. This white boy that's a pimp, this nigga was a hoe. Like, niggas is gonna pimp us. It ain't a bad thing. It's not bad to be pimped. I feel like we feel like it is because we won't let that shit happen. We hardcore. We raw daddy.
Well, no,
I'm cute. Look, I'm gonna tell you, cute. I ain't never been pimped. That's a downfall for me. That I would never allow myself to be pimped is a fucking downfall. Cause then I start looking like, what's the scheme? What the fuck is this nigga talking about? The shit better be do. But me resisting being pimped is resisting me being a pimp. I actually got a potential to be a big fucking deal. But since I don't want to get beat, if you are, listen, don't no pimp talk to a hoe with no potential. You got potential, that's why I'm talking to you, bitch. It's, if you get down with this pimping, you can see how far your potential can take you. Cause I'm a coach. If you go play for Phil Jackson, it's not like going to play for Tom Izzo. They two different type of coaches. Phil Jackson got a track record. Check my track record. Look at what the fuck I've been doing. You want to be with this nigga or you want to be with me? This is where I can take you. But you can't play for Phil Jackson and play for Tom Izzo. And you know what they call pimping at Landmark? They call it being coachable. That's what they call it at Landmark. They say, Q, you're not being coachable. That's when I said, y'all some motherfucking pimps. Like, I appreciate what you saying, but I care about money.
Right.
I'm not concerned with being coachable. Straight, like, if your coaching is going to improve some results, but they said, what he say all pimps do, they make a hoe think that they love them. That's what pimps do. That's deep.
That's it.
That's deep. They make a hoe think that they love them.
And at the end of the day, that's pimping.
That's pimping.
That's pimping.
That's high level shit. That's a whole world. That's a whole stratosphere.
And on episode 2,
that's a whole nother level.